right, there we go. Perfection. So again, welcome guys. Great morning. For those that do not know me, my name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have had the honor, pleasure, and privilege of being in entrepreneurship for the last 7 years. A lot of us are in the same lifestyle club, right? I've been a part of that lifestyle club for the last 7 years as well. And man, I am super just excited to be here with you guys. It's Thursday, right? And man, we're exactly a week from Thanksgiving. Wow, 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 wow. So guys, what I want to talk to you guys about today, I actually I have been I've been on this GoPro challenge for the last 7 days with Eric Worre, who is the network marketing guru, right? And he's interviewed a lot of people that we're close with, like Jefferson Santos, and I've just been, inquisitive, and I was just like, I needed to read a different book. I needed to read a book that I felt was going to be not only conducive to my life, right, but something that I can always add value to other people, because really and truly, that's what it's about. And a book that I picked up, and it was a really quick read. It's Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And I love it because the frog, like, who here wants to eat a frog? I don't think anybody ever wants to eat a frog, right? I don't think anybody wants to eat a frog. Would you eat a frog? I want you guys to type it in. Sue says no, right? No, no, no. I don't think anybody wants to eat a frog. And I love the concept of this book is basically saying, like, do the things that are difficult for you to do, right? Make a decision and stop procrastinating. And I think that that was very fitting. Make sure you guys go get the brand new merch. But I think that that was very, very fitting, because in the season that we're in, and whether you are a part of our lifestyle club or not, right, there have been so many changes, and the human being does not like changes. Like, we're not those people, right? Like, anybody in here can relate. Like, we're some people are more receptive to change than others, right? Some are not at all. We just do not like change. And what I love about this book, that it's gonna give you 21 different ways, right? And we'll be here all day if we talk about 21 different ways. So what I did was that I condensed it for you. And here's why I'm not gonna give you guys all 21 ways, because if I give you all 21 ways, you'll never go pick up the book. And I think that it's a great read, whether you want to get it on Audible and take a listen to it, or you want to just download the book, whatever it is. But Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, highly recommended. So I want to talk to you guys about that, because I feel that it is important that we're receptive to change, because, like, a lot of times things change, and at first we may not be the best about it, right? But long term, then we realize, like, man, that change was for the better. Can anybody relate to that? Has anybody here not been the best when it comes to adapting to something new or adapting to something different, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I wish I would have done it sooner. Can anybody relate to that? Absolutely, right? So, Eat That Frog, I summarized it for us. So, the key idea number one: every successful goal starts with a good plan. So, what does that mean? Before you take any action, you have to define your goals. Clarity is an essential part of productivity, right? So, what does that mean? We can't work unless you know what you have to do, right? Can anybody relate to that? Right? We can't learn unless we can't work unless you know what you have to do. So it is so important for us to figure out what task matters the most. The first step in overcoming procrastination, right? Write goals, map it out, right? Write goals. Have any of you guys rewrote your goals, right? Write your goals. And a lot of us think that we have to wait till the brand new year to rewrite your goals. No, write your goals. Write your SMART goals out, right? Specific, measurable, right? Actionable, realizational, tangible. Like, write your goals out, map it out, do checklists. It is so important. How many of you on here are ready right now for, and I'm going to give you guys this platinum nugget, okay? Um, how many of you right now, by the end of this call, you would love to increase your productivity by 25%? By 25% at least. How many? Everybody. Yes, absolutely. Everybody. Yes. Here's an important fact to remember, okay? Before I give you guys the goods. Only 3% of adults manage their time with written goals. Only 3%. And because that 3%, okay, manages their time with written goals, guess what? They're able to accomplish 5 to 10 times as much as other people. And you're like, Pam, how can I increase my productivity 25%? Because it is so important to be essential, right? It's so important to make sure that I'm productive, because if you're not being productive, what's the point, right? So if we know only 3% of adults operate from a list, right? Yes, Nikki, I agree. That number is disastrous. Okay. If we know 3% of adults manage their time with written goals, right? And they accomplish 5 to 10 times as much as other people, then how do you think we can increase our productivity by 25%? Ding, ding, ding. Of course. Yes. By working from a list. By working from a list. It is so important that we do these checklists. It is so important that we're able to write it out, right? The night before. Write it out the night before. I call it my power list. I call it my power list. And I'm going to tell you, if you win the morning, you win the day. So if you want to eat that frog, do in the morning the things that are most difficult to do, right? Do in the morning the things that you dread doing, because the faster you do it, the more productive you're going to be. And here's also another way, right, that we can work more effectively, that we can be more efficient, that we can be more productive. It's using the 80-20 rule. So the 80-20 rule is also called the Pareto principle, right? Pareto principle. And it basically is saying that every list of 10 tasks, should include 2 that are much more important than the others. So every list of at least 10 tasks, okay, 10 things to do, should have at least 2 that are more important than the others. So as soon as you find those 2, guess what? You got to focus on those 2. Carry those out. So again, number 1, every successful goal starts with a good plan. Productivity increased by 25% just by working from a list. Come on, right? Number 2, establish your priorities and focus on them. Is that difficult for anybody here? Or is it just me? Right? And that's why, again, going back to the first thing, writing out the list, right? Writing out your goals. So why is prioritizing important? And it's funny because as I was reading this book, I remember when I heard this method, I immediately thought of my banking career. And if you don't know my story, I was in finance industry nearly a decade, commercial banking previously prior to entrepreneurship. And my boss used to always use what's called the ABCDE method. And it's a useful tool because it's helping you stick to your priorities, right? And he was like, the ABCDE method is basically like you write out your list of tasks from A to E. And you write a list of tasks and assign each of them a letter from A to E. And he would say the A is like, absolutely, gotta get done. And the E was like, and not so much, right? And not so much. So it always was something that it helped us a lot because, again, it's about prioritizing. It's about making sure that whatever it is that you're setting out to do, you write those priorities of those tasks, because at the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, if we're not prioritizing, then when you are doing anything, you're going to be scatterbrained, right? You're going to be like, oh my God, do I need to do this first? Do I need to do that first? Like, what is it? So it's Organizing your task by value and priority is absolutely essential to your success. Practice the ABCDE method continuously because it is going to allow you to focus on the key result areas, right? So, number 3, the path to progress is all about self exploration. Who here has took some time for yourself? Who here has took some time to say, you know what, I need to make sure that I am growing myself. I need to know, like, reevaluate what is important for me. I need to reevaluate on what it is that I really want, because here's the reality. It's a constant learning progress, right? Process. And it's about, one of our favorite people in the world, one of my favorite people, a close friend of ours, mentor, leader of leaders, Mr. Josh Valentine, always says that it's about constant, never ending improvement, right? In every area of life. So if you know it's a constant learning process, we have to keep adapting and adjusting and pivoting as necessary, because we have to learn the most effective ways to execute our plans in this specific season of our life. See how I may go about what's important for me right now in this season may be different than what's important to Mr. Alexis Cruz. I see you, bro. How you doing? Right? It may be different than what's important to Katie, and it may be different than what's important to Nikki. It may be so. Another key part of knowing yourself is understanding your own skills. You got to know your own skills. You have to, and how you're probably like, well, I don't know where I'm talented at. Well, here's the reality, right? God didn't make any junk. We are all beautifully and fearfully made in his image. And I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact there's areas, guess what? That are my weakness. Yes. Just like there's areas that are my strength. So when you're thinking about, you know, everyone has a special talent. Yes, absolutely. Everyone has a special talent that makes them unique. Find yours, then maximize that potential. And why do I say that? It's because, you know, it's important for you to know who you are because of whose you are. But it is even more important for you to understand that there's things that you're great at that nobody else is. Like, maximize that. And you're probably like, well, how am I supposed to ever even know that? Right? Like, what is there, like a formula? Well, you think about something that it comes easy to you that doesn't come easy to most people. Because 9 out of 10 times, guess what? That's a skill you've mastered or developed, right? So there's talents within everybody. So never look at somebody's path, right? Never look at somebody's success and not understand that they too had a journey, and not understand that they too had a process that they had to endure. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's never about success for me. And for a lot of us on this call, it's about succession. So when you know where you're at, when you know exactly where you're going, when you know exactly your skill set, your talents, you're able to maximize that potential. And I'm going to give you guys another fun fact today. Did you know that the average driver, right? Everybody, the majority of people on here have a license. Do you know that the majority of drivers spend about 500 to 1,000 hours on the road each year? And I think that that number is probably like increased now, right? But on average, 500 to 1,000 hours on the road each year. And you're like, what? Yes. So why am I saying this? Because if you understand that you're not where you want to be, then we have to be committed to constant, never ending improvement. So guess what? Turn on some audios, turn on some audiobooks, right? Exactly, Stu. PD in the car. Yes, personal development. Turn on your favorite audiobook, right? Turn on your favorite book. By making sure you're listening to these audios, it's important because, again, you're strengthening yourself, you're developing within, you're speaking and feeding the leader within. You are speaking and feeding those skill sets, you're developing them even more. And it's essential because here's the reality: if we knew everything we needed to know, guess what? We'd already be where we want to go. If we knew everything we needed to know, we'd already be where we want to go. Hashtag that. Okay. That's real. So moving right along. Number 4, perform best by staying optimistic and self-disciplined. Oh my gosh. How important is it, right? How important is it that we are making sure that we're performing our best by staying optimistic and self-disciplined? A lot of us, I see people that, a lot of times when I'm coaching people or mentoring people, it's like, and it can be people in our lifestyle club, people outside of it, right? I see people that, they're just, they lose before they even got started. And why do I say that? Because you're not optimistic. You don't have a positive outlook. You're the complete opposite of optimistic. You're pessimistic. You don't see anything good out of nothing, right? Do you know some people like that? You're like, oh my God, if you could just change that, right? You got to stay optimistic. You have to stay self-disciplined. And it goes hand in hand because it's like your discipline and your training, right? And it goes back to, again, maximizing your own potential, right? Maximizing your own personal powers, but it's also allowing you to be disciplined. And whether you are getting disciplined in your fitness, whether you're getting disciplined in your spirituality, whether you're getting disciplined in your finances, whether you're getting disciplined in your business, it takes staying optimistic. It means making a decision to do so. It means saying, you know what, I'm not going to procrastinate. Because here's the reality, right? I'm going to say this: 95% of our emotions, of like the way we feel, is from the way we talk to ourselves. Yeah, from the way we talk to ourselves. So if our thoughts create our reality, so we got to strive for optimism, because we have to do our best to find the good in every situation. Especially, I'm talking to my people of faith. It's not just having faith when things are great, it's having faith when they're not. It's knowing that the best is yet to come. It's trusting the source. It's trusting your provider. Understand? So it's making sure that we're staying optimist, because it's fine, optimistic because we're finding the good in all of the situations, right? And you got to learn lessons from your setbacks and always look for the solution of every problem. And it's funny because if you're somebody on here that has spent some time with me, I'm the person that's like, okay, so let's focus on the solution. Like, I'm going to listen to your problem, but I really don't. I'm going to listen to you vent, but you got a few minutes. The majority of our conversation is going to be solution oriented, because I want to know, how can we make it work? Where's the solution coming? Right? Like, that's most important. And it's not that it's not important for you to, reflect. See, when you reflect on the lessons, when you reflect on the testings, you'll be able to realize that it's a blessing. See, I always say in life, we learn or we win. We win or we learn, because you never lose when you learn. But if you don't learn, you gotta learn, right? We have to learn. So you're gonna learn lessons from those setbacks, because you know that the setback is a setup for the comeback, right? But we have to make a decision and make it a priority, and just shifting, right? And somebody said, how can I do this better? It takes a decision, right? But it takes it to be constant, right? We have to be consistent. We have to be constant in it. And I'm not telling you anything is easy. I wasn't always this positive, oh my gosh, Pam, like, yay. Like, no, I wasn't always that person, right? But the joy of the Lord is my strength, right? My weakness is made perfect in his strength. And that is where that comes from. But it started with me making a decision, because when you decide, you cut off all other options. So once I made a decision that said, hey, I'm going to choose joy. Hey, you know what? I'm going to focus on the solution. I'm going to be optimistic, because I'm going to tell you, if 2020 has not taught you that you better be optimistic, you better be finding the solution. I feel bad for you and for the people around you. Because if anything, this has taught us is that it's essential to our mental health more than our well-being financially, physically, right? Our mental. I was always the girl that was like, God, family, business, right? But I'm the girl now that says God, health, family, business. Because if you're not healthy here and here, you can't take care of anybody. You can't serve anybody from an empty cup. So it starts with you making a decision. And guess what? I know you're the brave one that asks, how do I get better at that? But there's a lot of people on here that feel the same way and they're just not speaking up, because I too was in those shoes too. And I'm not going to tell you that I don't have difficult days. I'm not going to tell you that I haven't been in storms. I'm not even going to tell you I'm not going through a storm right now. But it's your mindset. It's called making a decision. And see, when you make a decision, it's in 21 days, only 21 days, 21 days it takes to make it a habit. So you're doing something every day for 21 days. Guess what? Now it's a habit. And when it's a habit, you just ate that frog. You just ate that frog. And now because it's a habit, you know what? It's no longer something difficult for you to do. It's a lifestyle. It's part of who you are. That's how you do things when you're not disciplined to do it. That's how you do it. Because when somebody's like, oh, you're always going to feel disciplined every day. Every day you got to feel disciplined to go work out. No, I'm not disciplined. But you know what? I've made certain things such a part of my lifestyle that if I don't do it, it's like I'm not practicing good hygiene. I'm not practicing good spiritual hygiene. Understand? So it's super important that we know that positive thinking, it empowers you. It's going to make you more confident. It's going to make us more creative. So remind yourself regularly of how great you are. Even if you don't believe in yourself at first, you'll start to also get better at handling challenging tasks, because it's the power of the tongue. Speak over yourself. See, what you seek is seeking you, but speak what it is that you seek. Understand? Speak positive thinking. I can spend so much more time on that. Idea number 5, acknowledge what's holding you back. Acknowledge what's holding you back and then overcome it. So why do I say that? Why is that so important? Because so a lot of times, we not only want to do the difficult task first, but sometimes, there's things going on and you look at it and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I have these goals and I have this. And a lot of times maybe you've set the same goal and you're asking yourself, well, why didn't I accomplish it? Right. And it's important for us to take time to sit in our stuff, right? So I don't say another word. Sit in your BS, sit in your stuff, right? Because you have to sit in it long enough to smell it so that you can change it. Just real, right? And you have to take some time to acknowledge that. You have to take some time to be able to say, okay, what is really holding me back? Internally versus externally. And why I tell you this, because a lot of times, a lot of the things that hold us back are more internal than external. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of people that you're transitioning and you're going to wait to the very last minute and you're going to play yourself. You're going to play yourself because you are not acknowledging what's holding you back. And I'm going to tell you this because I feel like this was really, really fitting. It's important for us to be able to not hesitate, not procrastinate. Now is the time to make sure you acknowledge what it is that's holding you back and then overcome it, and overcome it like that, right? Focus, follow one course until successful. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. What you focus on expands, right? What you focus on is what you will follow, right? Fuel what it is that you want. And I tell you this because you have to know what it is that's holding you back. What is it? Is it internal factors more than anything? Is it external? Because once we overcome it, it's game over. It's game over, right? And it's funny because in this book, and it's a lot of us are part of the same lifestyle club, right? And it's like travel is our thing. And we have shifted into, health and wellness, and it's skin and nutrition. It's going to be an absolute blessing, right? This is such a blessing. This merger is a blessing. Okay. So excited. And it's funny because one of the tricks that Brian Tracy talks about in this book, he says, imagine that you just learned you're going on a surprise vacation tomorrow. What would you do before leaving? Those are the tasks you should take care of right away. So make a habit of this and you'll find yourself eating the frog regularly. And I thought of it and I was like, yo, that's real. Because anybody that knows when you're about to go on a vacation, you're like, okay, I'm gonna write everything. Like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Okay, I gotta go see my wax lady. I gotta go do this. I got a nail appointment, hair appointment. And it is incredible how we can prioritize everything we need to do before we go on vacation. Can anybody relate? Imagine if we did that with our task. Somebody said I ran in circles for 2 days. I believe you, girl, me too. I know the feeling, right? Imagine if we handled the tasks that were most imperative and conducive to our success in the same way. How cool would that be? Right? No, and I'm going to challenge you. Somebody just said, I suck at that. No, 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 no. You're developing. I want to challenge you, right? Because verbiage is important. 95% of the words that we utilize. So I'm going to challenge you to say, you know what? I am overcoming. I'm overcoming that area. I'm overcoming that skill set. I'm overcoming that. I'm developing the leader within me to stop procrastinating. Speak life over your life, even over the things that you need to change, because it's all the verbiage that we utilize, right? But it's being aware. Awareness is key. Surroundings is key, but awareness, right? I'm overcoming procrastination. Like whatever it is, whatever challenge, I tell people all the time, like, no, we're overcoming a health issue. We're overcoming this right now because I'm speaking to that mountain like I already know it's going to move. Understand? Because you say it's going to move, guess what? It's going to move. But it's what you're believing with conviction. What are you believing with assertiveness? What are you believing? What are you hoping for? Understand? So I hope if you guys are getting value from this, right? Let me know. So awesome. Key idea number 6, take control of your own time. Take control of your own time. Don't just talk about it, be about it, act now and get it done, right? See, it's a lot of, we're going to be able to defeat procrastination by figuring out who you are and what you want to achieve. But it's important we confront our limitations. It is essential that we plan our time and eat the frogs we have to do on a daily. Eat the frog. Eat it. Right? Somebody said I love fried frog legs. I ain't been there yet. My sister should definitely eat all that crazy stuff. But again, eat the frogs, because when you complete your most important task first, you'll train yourself to stay ready on the road to success. You'll train yourselves to stay ready so you don't got to get ready on the road to success. And here's the most beautiful thing about that. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we. So the faster we're able to accomplish that, what does that mean? The faster we're able to learn that, right? The faster we're able to say, hey, you know what? I ate that frog and look at me now. I'm looking forward to seeing the success stories 6 months from now. Yeah, because 2021, it's going to be a game changer. But eat those frogs, because your success story is what's going to fuel the next success story. See, the more that you do the things that you don't want to do, the more that you do the things that you fear of doing, the more fearless you will become, the more successful you will become. And you'll also be able to bring more people with you, because we never want to be not only leaders, right? And it's not only leaders in business, leaders in the kingdom of God. We never want to be those people that say, do like I say, not like I do. See, can't nobody say I ain't do this if I'm telling you to do it. It's just what it is, right? And that's just always been something that I needed, right? That I was like, nah, if I'm gonna tell you, like, and I learned that from having an amazing mom, right? My mom always used to tell us, do this, but guess what? I would see her doing it. One of the reasons that, I have been so committed to my development spiritually, right, is because I have a strong foundation. I have had a praying mom for 35 years of my life, right? I see her in the morning doing her daily disciplines, like I'm doing my daily disciplines, right? It's a beautiful thing. But guess what? I'm going to show the same things to my children. Yeah, because it's never about you and me, it's about we. And success is never fun if your friends can't get none. But it's never about success, it's about succession. But it takes us doing those daily tasks. It takes us doing those things that we fear the most. It takes us sitting in our own with our own self and saying, hey, you know what? I need this to do. I gotta do this. This is important. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do those things that I fear the most. I'm telling you guys right now, I find it very fitting to talk about this in the time that we're in. I get it. Some people are like, oh my God, this is so unexpected. But guess what? Miracles and blessings are always unexpected. Sometimes. I mean, I'll be expecting miracles and blessings. That's just me. Because expectancy is the breeding ground for miracles. But how you look at this is how this will look at you. So if you're going into this next season, if you're going into this holiday season procrastinating, you lost. So I challenge all of us to eat that frog, right? I challenge all of us. I want to see it on social media. Send it to me, right? Write it, email it, Facebook to me. I don't care. I want you to do something today that you're like, I ate that frog. I want you to eat that frog. What is that one thing? Start with one thing. It doesn't have to be a billion things, but start with that one task. Remember the 80-20 rule. 2 of those things are more important than 8 of them in a list of 10. But eat the frog. Do the thing that is the biggest, the most challenging, because the more you do that, the easier it will be, the more successful you will be, the more valuable you're going to be able to add value to other people, because there's other people just like you and me, just like you and me, just like you and I, right? That they need this too. But it takes you to lead. It takes us to lead. It takes us to be the change. So how are you going to go into this next season? Did you already start in this? And now I'm talking specifically to the people that are in our lifestyle club. Did you already start making a list? Are you procrastinating? Are you hesitating right now? Whew, I feel bad for you if you are. Where's your reactivation list? Where's the list of people you're reaching out to? Where's the list of people on your team right now that you're having conversations with? Like, now is the time. It has never been more fitting. We have been saying now is the time from the beginning of this year, right? And a lot of you have seen me going in after Zoom, blitzes, and this. I'll tell y'all, I ain't seen nothing yet. When we talk about now is the time that together we're going to go further. But now is the time that together we make a decision of what we want the next 5 to 10 years to look like. Now's the decision that we say, that we make, and we're saying, you know what? Everything that I have endured, I'm going to make it worth it. God just made it worth it. God just said, hey, you wanted a blessing? I'm going to take you to a whole nother level, but are you going to eat the frog? Are you going to stop procrastinating? Are you going to make a decision to do this for real, for real? Are you? Because To whom much is given, much is required. So ask and you shall receive. But to whom much is given, much is required. Faith without work is dead. It's dead. So what it is that you want? Are you doing things every day conducive to where it is that you want to go? It's important, right? Now is the time. Now is the time for us to lead. Now is the time for us to be the ones that said, hey, you know what? Brand new mindset, brand new goals, brand new, brand new. 2021, it already started. It started already. Now is the time. I'm looking forward to each and every single one of your success. Many, many, many blessings to each and every single one of you. As always, it is a pleasure, honor, and privilege to serve. Thank you guys so much for being on. I hope we were able to add value to each other today. Thank you guys. God bless you guys. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been your Breakfast Club call for Thursday, November 19th, 2020. Let's go be great. Go eat that frog.